Marketing has changed so much over the years. What do you think is the biggest shift we've seen?
I'd say the biggest shift is the move from traditional to digital marketing. It's not just about billboards and TV ads anymore.
Exactly. Now it's all about social media, SEO, and content marketing. It's fascinating how consumer behavior has changed.
And let's not forget about influencer marketing. Who would have thought that people would trust a random person on Instagram more than a brand?
Right? It's like we're living in a reality show where everyone is a potential brand ambassador.
That's a good point, Joshua. But why do you think that shift happened?
It's all about authenticity. Consumers want to connect with real people, not faceless corporations.
And it's also about engagement. Brands that interact with their audience tend to build stronger relationships.
So, are we saying that marketing is now more about relationships than selling?
Absolutely. It's about creating a community around a brand.
That's interesting, but does that mean traditional marketing is dead?
Not at all. Traditional marketing still has its place, especially for certain demographics.
Yes, and some people still respond well to print ads or TV commercials. It's about knowing your audience.
So, it's like a buffet? You take a little bit of everything?
Exactly. A multi-channel approach is often the most effective.
What about data? How has that changed marketing?
Data analytics has revolutionized marketing. Brands can now track consumer behavior in real time.
And that allows for more targeted marketing strategies. It's like having a crystal ball.
Or a really creepy stalker, but in a good way, right?
It's true, though. The more data you have, the better you can tailor your message.
But does that mean we're losing the human touch in marketing?
Not necessarily. It's about using data to enhance the human experience, not replace it.
Exactly. Personalization can make consumers feel valued.
So, it's like sending a birthday card instead of a generic email blast?
Yes, people appreciate that personal touch.
What about the future? Where do you see marketing heading?
I think we'll see more integration of AI and machine learning in marketing strategies.
And perhaps even more immersive experiences like virtual reality.
Wow, marketing could become a whole new world, literally.
It's exciting to think about how technology will continue to shape our interactions with brands.
So the evolution of marketing is really just beginning.
Absolutely, it's a constantly evolving landscape.
And as consumers, we have to stay informed about these changes.
Or we might end up in a marketing black hole.
Let's hope not. It's all about adapting and learning.
Consumer psychology is such a fascinating topic. What do you think drives our purchasing decisions?
A lot of it comes down to emotions. People often make decisions based on how they feel rather than logic.
That makes sense. Emotions can really influence our choices, like buying something just because it makes us happy.
Or because it makes us feel like we belong. Ever notice how people buy the same sneakers as their favorite celebrities?
Right. It's like we're trying to emulate their lifestyle. But why do we do that?
It's about social identity. We want to be part of a group, and brands help us express that.
Interesting. So are we saying that brands are like social badges?
Exactly. They signal who we are and what we value.
So, if I wear a certain brand, I'm basically saying, look at me, I'm cool.
But what about the counterculture? Some people intentionally avoid popular brands.
That's a great point. It's a form of rebellion showing individuality.
So it's a double-edged sword. Brands can unite us or divide us.
Yes, and marketers have to navigate that carefully.
It's like walking a tightrope. One wrong move and you could lose your audience.
What about the role of scarcity? Why do we want things more when they're limited?
Scarcity creates urgency. It taps into our fear of missing out, or FOMO.
That's why limited edition products are so popular.
And why we all rush to buy the latest iPhone, even if our old one works just fine.
So it's all about perception, right? How we view value.
Exactly. Value is subjective and can be influenced by marketing.
What about brand loyalty? Why do some people stick to one brand?
It often comes down to trust. If a brand consistently meets expectations, we stick with it.
So it's like a relationship. If they treat us well, we keep coming back.
But what happens when a brand disappoints? Can they recover?
It's tough, but transparency and good customer service can help rebuild trust.
That's a valuable insight. So communication is key.
Absolutely. Brands need to listen to their consumers.
And maybe throw in a few free samples along the way.
So consumer psychology really shapes how brands operate.
Definitely. Understanding consumer behavior is crucial for success.
And it's always evolving, just like marketing.
Exactly. We have to keep learning about what drives us.
Or we might end up buying a pet rock again.
Let's hope not. But it's all about adapting to those psychological trends.
And that's what makes consumer psychology so exciting.
It really is. There's always something new to discover.
And it impacts all of us, whether we realize it or not.
So let's keep our eyes open and our wallets ready.
Agreed. It's a wild world out there.
Branding is such a crucial part of marketing. What do you think makes a brand stand out?
A strong brand has a clear identity and message. It resonates with its audience on an emotional level.
Exactly. It's about creating a memorable experience that people can connect with.
So it's like dating. You want to make a good first impression.
That's a funny analogy, Pedro, but it makes sense. First impressions matter.
What about brand consistency? How important is that?
Very important. Consistency builds trust. If a brand looks and feels the same across all platforms, it reinforces its identity.
And it helps consumers know what to expect. It's like a reliable friend.
Or a sitcom that never changes its cast. You know what you're getting.
But what happens if a brand decides to change its image?
It can be risky. If not done carefully, it can alienate loyal customers.
So it's a balancing act between evolution and staying true to your roots?
Exactly. Brands need to evolve with their audience, but also maintain core values.
Like when a band changes its sound. Some fans love it, other not so much.
What about brand storytelling? How does that play into branding?
Storytelling is powerful. It creates a narrative that consumers can relate to.
And it makes the brand more human. People love stories.
So if I tell a story about how I found my favorite snack, I'm basically branding it?
In a way, yes, personal stories can create a connection.
What about visual branding? How important are logos and colors?
Visual elements are crucial. They create instant recognition and evoke emotions.
Think about how certain colors can influence feelings. Red can create excitement, while blue feels calm.
So if I wear a red shirt, I'm basically saying, let's party.
Exactly, colors can communicate messages without words.
What about the role of social media in branding?
Social media is a game changer. It allows brands to engage directly with consumers.
And it's a platform for storytelling. Brands can share their journey.
Plus, it's a great way to show off your personality. Who doesn't love a funny tweet?
But can social media also backfire? What if a brand makes a mistake?
Absolutely. A misstep can go viral, and brands need to respond quickly.
So transparency is key in the digital age?
Yes, consumers appreciate honesty and accountability.
And a good sense of humor can help too. Just look at brands that own their mistakes.
So branding is really about building relationships?
Exactly. It's about creating a community and fostering loyalty.
That's a great takeaway. Branding is more than just a logo.
It's a whole experience that consumers buy into.
And if done right, it can be a love story that lasts a lifetime.
Let's hope we all find our perfect brand match.
Market research techniques are essential for understanding consumer behavior. What are some of the most effective methods out there?
There are several techniques, but surveys and focus groups are among the most common. They provide direct feedback from consumers.
Surveys can be done online or in person, right? They're a great way to gather quantitative data.
And focus groups are like a group therapy session for brands. You get to hear people's thoughts in real time.
But how do you ensure that the feedback is unbiased? People might hold back in a group setting.
That's a valid concern. It's important to create a comfortable environment where participants feel free to express their opinions.
What about observational research? How does that fit into market research?
Observational research involves watching consumers in their natural environment. It can reveal behaviors that surveys might miss.
So it's like being a marketing detective. You get to see the real deal.
But isn't there a risk of misinterpreting what you see? Context matters.
Absolutely. Context is crucial. Researchers need to analyze the data carefully to draw accurate conclusions.
What about secondary research? How does that differ from primary research?
Secondary research involves analyzing existing data, like reports or studies, rather than collecting new data.
So it's like using someone else's homework to get insights?
Exactly. But it can be a goldmine if the data is relevant and up to date.
And it's often more cost-effective than primary research, which can be expensive.
What role does data analytics play in market research?
Data analytics helps in interpreting large sets of data, identifying trends, and making predictions.
So it's like having a crystal ball for marketers.
But can data analytics sometimes lead to over-reliance on numbers? What about the human element?
That's a great point. While data is important, it should complement human insights, not replace them.
What about A/B testing? How does that fit into market research?
A/B testing involves comparing two versions of a product or marketing material to see which performs better.
So it's like a reality show for products. Only the best version gets to stay.
But how do you ensure that the sample size is large enough for reliable results?
Good question. A larger sample size generally leads to more reliable results, but it also depends on the target audience.
What about the ethical considerations in market research?
Ethics are crucial. Researchers must ensure that participants are informed and consent to being part of the study.
And no sneaky tactics, right? We don't want to be the marketing equivalent of a used car salesman.
Exactly. Transparency builds trust, which is essential for effective market research.
In the end, the goal is to understand consumers better and create products that truly meet their needs.
So market research is really about bridging the gap between brands and consumers.
Yes, it's about creating a dialogue that benefits both sides.
And who doesn't love a good conversation, especially when it leads to better products?
Let's hope brands keep listening to their consumers. It's a win-win.
Absolutely. The more we understand, the better we can serve.
Great insights, everyone. Market research is definitely a fascinating field.
And it's ever evolving, just like consumer preferences.
So let's keep our ears to the ground and our eyes on the trends.
Agreed. It's an exciting time to be in marketing.
Digital marketing strategies have become essential for businesses today. What are some key strategies that stand out?
Content marketing is huge. It's all about creating valuable content that attracts and engages your audience.
Absolutely. Blogs, videos, and infographics can really help build a brand's authority.
And let's not forget about SEO. It's like the secret sauce that helps your content get found.
Right, but how do you keep up with the ever-changing algorithms?
It's a challenge. Regularly updating your content and staying informed about SEO trends is crucial.
What about social media? How does it fit into digital marketing strategies?
Social media is a powerful tool for engagement. It allows brands to connect directly with their audience.
And it's a great way to showcase personality. Who doesn't love a brand that can make them laugh?
But how do you measure success on social media? Likes and shares don't always tell the whole story.
Engagement metrics are key. Comments, shares, and even direct messages can indicate how well you're connecting.
What about email marketing? Is it still effective?
Definitely. Email marketing has one of the highest ROI rates. It's all about personalization.
So it's like sending a tailored gift instead of a generic one? People appreciate that.
But how do you avoid ending up in the spam folder?
Building a quality email list and providing valuable content can help keep you out of spam.
What role does paid advertising play in digital marketing?
Paid ads can boost visibility quickly. Platforms like Google Ads and Facebook ads are popular.
But it can get pricey. How do you ensure you're getting a good return on investment?
Tracking conversions and analyzing data is essential. You need to know what's working.
Exactly. A/B testing can help optimize your ads for better performance.
What about influencer marketing? Is it still a viable strategy?
Yes, influencers can help brands reach niche audiences authentically.
But it's important to choose the right influencer. Not all followers are created equal.
And authenticity matters. Audiences can spot a fake endorsement from a mile away.
True. Brands need to align with influencers who genuinely resonate with their values.
What about the importance of analytics in digital marketing?
Analytics are crucial. They provide insights into what's working and what needs improvement.
So it's like having a marketing GPS. You can see where you're going and adjust your route.
But can data overload be a problem? Sometimes too much information can be paralyzing.
That's a valid point. It's about focusing on key metrics that align with your goals.
What's the future of digital marketing? Where do you see it heading?
I think we'll see more emphasis on personalization and AI-driven strategies.
Wow! So we might have marketing robots crafting our emails soon.
That could be both exciting and a little scary, but it's all about enhancing the human touch.
Exactly. Technology should complement our efforts, not replace them.
Great insights, everyone. Digital marketing strategies are definitely evolving.
And it's important for brands to stay adaptable.
Or they might just get left behind in the digital dust.
Let's hope they keep learning and growing with their audience.
Absolutely. The future is bright for those who embrace change.
Content marketing is such a buzzword these days. What makes it essential for businesses?
It's essential because it builds trust and authority. When you provide valuable content, you position yourself as an expert.
Exactly. It's about educating your audience rather than just selling to them.
So it's like being the cool teacher who shares knowledge instead of just giving tests?
Right, but how do you create content that actually resonates with people?
Understanding your audience is key. You need to know their pain points and interests.
That makes sense. But what types of content should businesses focus on?
Blogs, videos, infographics, and podcasts are all great options. Variety keeps it engaging.
And let's not forget about social media posts. They can drive traffic to your content.
But how do you measure the success of your content marketing efforts?
Metrics like website traffic, engagement rates, and conversion rates are crucial.
So it's not just about views, but how those views translate into action.
Exactly. You want to see if people are taking the next step after consuming your content.
And what about SEO? How does that fit into content marketing?
SEO is vital. Optimizing your content helps it get found by search engines.
Keywords, meta descriptions, and backlinks all play a role in improving visibility.
But isn't there a risk of over-optimizing? It can feel forced.
Absolutely. It's about finding a balance between optimization and natural flow.
So it's like seasoning your food. Too much can ruin the dish.
What about storytelling? How important is that in content marketing?
Storytelling is powerful. It creates an emotional connection with your audience.
So, if I share a personal story about my brand, it makes it more relatable.
Yes, people remember stories much better than just facts and figures.
And it's a great way to showcase your brand's personality.
What about user-generated content? How does that fit in?
User-generated content can enhance authenticity. It shows real people engaging with your brand.
So it's like having your customers do the marketing for you?
Exactly, it builds community and trust.
And it's free advertising. Who doesn't love that?
But how do you encourage users to create content?
Contests, hashtags, and incentives can motivate users to share their experiences.
What about the frequency of content? How often should businesses post?
Consistency is key. It's better to have a regular schedule than to post sporadically.
So it's like watering a plant. Regular care leads to growth.
What's the future of content marketing? Where do you see it heading?
I think we'll see more interactive content like quizzes and polls to engage audiences.
That sounds exciting. It's all about creating experiences.
And as technology evolves, so will the ways we deliver content.
So buckle up. The content marketing ride is just getting started.
Agreed. It's a dynamic field that keeps us on our toes.
And that's what makes it so interesting.
Great insights, everyone. Content marketing is definitely essential for success.
Absolutely. It's all about connecting with your audience.
And having a little fun along the way.
Let's keep creating and sharing valuable content.
Social media marketing has exploded in recent years. What do you think makes it so effective?
It's all about reach and engagement. Social media allows brands to connect with their audience in real time.
Exactly. It's a two-way street. Consumers can interact with brands directly, which builds relationships.
And let's not forget about the viral potential. One funny meme can spread like wildfire.
But how do brands ensure their content stands out in such a crowded space?
Creativity is key. Unique and relatable content tends to grab attention.
What about targeting? How does social media allow for that?
Platforms like Facebook and Instagram offer advanced targeting options based on user behavior and demographics.
So it's like having a marketing crystal ball. You can see who's most likely to engage.
But does that mean brands are becoming too reliant on algorithms?
That's a concern. Algorithms can change, and brands need to adapt quickly.
What about influencer marketing? How does that fit into social media?
Influencers can amplify a brand's message. Their followers often trust their recommendations.
So it's like having a friend vouch for you. But how do you choose the right influencer?
It's important to align values. An influencer's audience should match your target market.
And authenticity matters. Audiences can spot inauthentic endorsements.
What role does user-generated content play?
User-generated content builds community and trust. It shows real people engaging with the brand.
And it's free advertising. Who doesn't love that?
But how do you encourage users to create content?
Contests, challenges, and hashtags can motivate users to share their experiences.
What about the importance of analytics in social media marketing?
Analytics are crucial. They help brands understand what content resonates with their audience.
So it's like having a report card for your marketing efforts.
But can data overload be a problem? Sometimes too much information can be paralyzing.
That's true. It's about focusing on key metrics that align with your goals.
What's the future of social media marketing? Where do you see it heading?
I think we'll see more emphasis on video content and live streaming.
Wow, so we might be watching brands live on our phones soon?
That could be both exciting and a little overwhelming, but it's all about engagement.
Exactly. Brands need to keep evolving to meet consumer expectations.
Great insights, everyone. Social media marketing is definitely a dynamic field.
Absolutely. It's all about connecting with your audience in meaningful ways.
And having a little fun along the way.
Let's keep exploring the possibilities of social media.
Networking is such a crucial part of career development. Why do you think it's so important?
Networking opens doors to opportunities. It's not just about what you know, but who you know.
Exactly. Building relationships can lead to collaborations, job offers, and mentorship.
And let's be honest, sometimes it's about getting that inside scoop. Who doesn't want a little insider info?
But how do you even start networking? It can feel intimidating.
Start by attending events in your field. Conferences, workshops, and even local meetups are great.
What about online networking? Is it as effective?
Absolutely. Platforms like LinkedIn are powerful for connecting with professionals.
And you can do it in your pajamas. Who doesn't love that?
But how do you make a genuine connection online? It can feel so impersonal.
Personalize your messages. Mention something specific about their work or interests.
That makes sense. But what if you're shy? How do you break the ice?
Start with common interests. Ask questions about their work or share your experiences.
Or just compliment their shoes. Everyone loves a good shoe compliment.
What about follow-ups? How important are they?
Follow-ups are crucial. They show you value the connection and want to keep the conversation going.
So a simple thank you message can go a long way.
Definitely, it keeps you on their radar.
And it's like sending a virtual high five.
What about networking in a virtual world? How has that changed things?
Virtual networking has made it easier to connect globally, but it can lack the personal touch.
So it's a trade-off? More connections but less depth?
Exactly. It's important to find ways to build deeper relationships even online.
Like virtual coffee chats. Who doesn't love coffee?
What about the role of networking in job searching? How does it help?
Many jobs are filled through referrals. Networking can give you a leg up.
So it's about being in the right place at the right time?
Yes, and being proactive about making those connections.
And don't forget to give back. Networking is a two-way street.
That's a great point. How can you help others in your network?
Share resources, introduce them to others, or offer your expertise.
So it's about building a community, not just a list of contacts.
Exactly. A strong network is built on trust and mutual support.
And who doesn't want a network that feels like a family?
What's the biggest mistake people make when networking?
Focusing too much on what they can get rather than what they can give.
That's a valuable insight. It's about building relationships, not just transactions.
Yes, authenticity is key in networking.
So let's all be genuine and have fun while we're at it.
Agreed. Networking can be a rewarding experience if approached the right way.
Absolutely. It's all about connection and collaboration.
Great discussion, everyone. Networking is definitely a vital skill.
And it's something we can all improve on.
So let's get out there and start connecting.
Yes, here's to building our networks.
Sales techniques have evolved a lot over the years. What do you think are the most effective ones today?
I'd say consultative selling is really effective. It focuses on understanding the customer's needs rather than just pushing a product.
Exactly. It's about building relationships and trust. People are more likely to buy from someone they feel understands them.
So it's like being a therapist for your customers? Listening to their problems and offering solutions?
That's a funny way to put it, but yes, it's about being a problem solver.
What about upselling? Is that still a common technique?
Definitely, but it needs to be done thoughtfully. It should feel like a natural extension of the conversation.
Right. If it feels forced, it can turn customers off.
So it's like suggesting dessert after a great meal. You want them to want it.
Exactly, but how do you know when to upsell?
It's about reading the customer's cues. If they seem engaged and happy, that's a good time.
What about the role of storytelling in sales?
Storytelling is powerful. It helps create an emotional connection and makes the product relatable.
So if I tell a story about how a product changed my life, I'm basically selling it?
Yes. People remember stories much better than just facts.
What about social proof? How does that play into sales?
Social proof, like testimonials and reviews, can significantly influence buying decisions.
Absolutely. People trust the opinions of others, especially if they're similar to them.
So it's like having a friend recommend a restaurant? You're more likely to try it.
But what if a brand has negative reviews? How do they recover?
Transparency is key. Addressing concerns openly can help rebuild trust.
What about the importance of follow-ups after a sale?
Follow-ups are crucial. They show you care about the customer's experience.
And it's a great way to ask for referrals. Who doesn't love a good referral?
What about the role of technology in sales techniques?
Technology has transformed sales. CRM systems help track interactions and manage relationships.
So it's like having a digital assistant keeping everything organized?
Exactly. It allows salespeople to focus more on building relationships.
What about personalization? How important is that?
Personalization is huge. Tailoring your approach to each customer can make a big difference.
Absolutely. It shows you value them as individuals.
What's the biggest mistake salespeople make?
Focusing too much on the sale rather than the relationship. It's a turnoff.
So it's like trying to rush into a relationship? Nobody likes that.
What's the future of sales techniques? Where do you see it heading?
I think we'll see more integration of AI and data analytics to enhance personalization.
That sounds exciting. It's all about adapting to consumer behavior.
And staying genuine in the process.
So let's keep our sales game strong and our relationships stronger.
Agreed. It's all about connection.
Great insights, everyone. Sales techniques are definitely evolving.
Absolutely. It's about understanding and serving our customers.
And having a little fun along the way.
Let's keep learning and improving our sales skills.
Analytics has become such a buzzword in business today. What do you think makes it so crucial?
Analytics provides insights that drive decision-making. It helps businesses understand their performance and customer behavior.
Exactly. It's like having a roadmap. You can see where you're going and adjust your strategies accordingly.
So it's like having a cheat sheet for your business? Who wouldn't want that?
But how do you ensure that the data you're analyzing is accurate?
That's a great question. Data quality is essential. You need to have reliable sources and clean data.
What about the different types of analytics? Can you break them down?
Sure, there's descriptive analytics, which tells you what happened, diagnostic analytics, which explains why it happened, and predictive analytics, which forecasts future trends.
So it's like a detective story. You find out what happened, why it happened, and what might happen next.
But how do businesses use predictive analytics effectively?
They can use historical data to identify patterns and trends, which helps in making informed predictions.
What about prescriptive analytics? How does that fit in?
Prescriptive analytics goes a step further by recommending actions based on the data. It's like having a personal advisor.
Wow. So it's like having a crystal ball that not only tells you the future, but also gives you advice on what to do.
But can analytics sometimes lead to over-reliance on data? What about the human element?
That's a valid concern. While data is important, it should complement human intuition and experience.
What role does real-time analytics play in decision-making?
Real-time analytics allows businesses to respond quickly to changes in the market or customer behavior.
So it's like being able to change your game plan on the fly. That's powerful.
But how do you balance the need for real-time data with the need for thorough analysis?
It's about prioritizing key metrics that align with your goals while still being agile.
What about the ethical considerations in analytics? Are there any?
Absolutely. Businesses need to be transparent about how they collect and use data.
And no sneaky tactics, right? We don't want to be the marketing equivalent of a used car salesman.
What's the biggest mistake companies make when it comes to analytics?
Focusing too much on vanity metrics like likes and shares instead of meaningful insights.
That's a valuable insight. It's about understanding what truly drives success.
Yes, it's about digging deeper and finding actionable insights.
So analytics is really about telling a story with data?
Exactly. It's about making sense of the numbers and using them to inform decisions.
And that's what makes analytics so exciting. There's always something new to discover.
Great insights, everyone. The role of analytics is definitely evolving.
Absolutely. It's about staying informed and adapting to changes.
So let's keep our eyes on the data and our minds open.
Agreed. It's a fascinating field that impacts all of us.
And it's only going to become more important in the future.
Let's hope we all keep learning and growing with analytics. Crisis management in marketing is such a critical topic. Why is it so important for brands?
It's crucial because a crisis can damage a brand's reputation in an instant. How a company responds can make or break public perception.
Exactly. A well-handled crisis can even strengthen a brand's relationship with its audience.
So it's like a bad breakup? If you handle it well, you might still be friends.
That's a funny analogy, Pedro. But seriously, what are some common types of crises brands face?
There are product recalls, public relations disasters, and even social media blunders. Each requires a different approach.
What about social media? How does it amplify crises?
Social media spreads information rapidly. A single tweet can escalate a situation before a brand even has a chance to respond.
So it's like a wildfire. One spark and it can spread everywhere.
But how can brands prepare for potential crises?
Having a crisis management plan is essential. It should outline roles, communication strategies, and response protocols.
What role does transparency play in crisis management?
Transparency is key. Being honest about the situation helps build trust with consumers.
So it's like admitting you ate the last cookie? Just own up to it.
What about timing? How quickly should a brand respond to a crisis?
Speed is important, but it's also crucial to ensure the information is accurate. Rushing can lead to more mistakes.
That makes sense. What about the role of empathy in responses?
Empathy is vital. Acknowledging the impact on consumers shows that the brand cares.
So it's like saying, we understand your pain and we're here to help.
What happens if a brand mishandles a crisis? Can they recover?
Recovery is possible, but it takes time and consistent effort. Brands need to demonstrate change.
What are some examples of brands that handled crises well?
Johnson & Johnson is a classic example. They handled the Tylenol crisis with transparency and care.
And they turned it into a case study for crisis management. Talk about a comeback.
What about brands that didn't handle crises well? What can we learn from them?
Brands like United Airlines faced backlash for poor crisis responses. It shows the importance of having a plan.
So it's about learning from both successes and failures.
Absolutely. Each crisis is a learning opportunity.
And it's a reminder that we're all human. Mistakes happen.
What's the biggest takeaway for brands when it comes to crisis management?
Be prepared, be transparent, and always prioritize your audience's needs.
Great insights, everyone. Crisis management is definitely a vital skill in marketing.
And it's something every brand should take seriously.
So let's hope we all avoid any marketing disasters.
Agreed. But if they happen, at least we know how to handle them.
Ethics in marketing is such a crucial topic. Why do you think it's important?
It's important because ethical marketing builds trust with consumers. If brands are transparent and honest, they foster loyalty.
Exactly. Consumers are more likely to support brands that align with their values.
So, it's like dating? If you're honest from the start, you're more likely to get a second date.
That's a funny analogy, Pedro. But seriously, what are some common ethical issues in marketing?
Common issues include misleading advertising, false claims, and exploiting consumer vulnerabilities.
What about data privacy? How does that fit into ethical marketing?
Data privacy is huge. Brands need to be transparent about how they collect and use consumer data.
So, it's like asking for permission before borrowing someone's favorite shirt?
Exactly. Consent is key. But what happens when brands misuse data?
Misusing data can lead to a loss of trust and even legal consequences. It's a slippery slope.
What role does social responsibility play in marketing ethics?
Social responsibility is about brands giving back to the community and being aware of their impact.
So, if a brand supports a good cause, it's like saying, we care about more than just profits.
But can brands be genuine in their social responsibility efforts?
That's the challenge. Consumers can spot inauthenticity from a mile away.
What about greenwashing? How does that relate to ethics?
Greenwashing is when brands falsely claim to be environmentally friendly. It's misleading and unethical.
So, it's like saying you're on a diet while secretly eating cake? Not cool.
What can brands do to ensure they're marketing ethically?
Brands should establish clear ethical guidelines and regularly train their teams on ethical practices.
What about the role of regulations in ethical marketing?
Regulations help set standards for ethical behavior, but brands should go beyond compliance.
So, it's like following the speed limit but still driving safely.
What's the biggest mistake brands make regarding ethics?
Ignoring consumer feedback. If consumers raise concerns, brands need to listen and adapt.
That's a valuable insight. It's about being responsive and accountable.
Yes, ethical marketing is an ongoing commitment, not a one-time effort.
And it can actually boost a brand's reputation in the long run.
What's the future of ethics in marketing? Where do you see it heading?
I think we'll see more emphasis on transparency and accountability as consumers demand it.
Great insights, everyone. Ethics in marketing is definitely a vital topic.
Absolutely. It impacts how brands connect with their audience.
So let's hope we all keep our marketing practices ethical.
Agreed. It's all about building trust and relationships.
Global marketing strategies are essential for businesses looking to expand internationally. What do you think makes them so important?
They're important because they help brands understand diverse markets and tailor their approach to different cultures.
Exactly. It's about recognizing that what works in one country might not work in another.
So it's like trying to impress your in-laws? You can't use the same approach for everyone.
That's a funny analogy, Pedro. But seriously, what are some key components of a successful global marketing strategy?
Market research is crucial. Understanding local consumer behavior and preferences is the foundation.
What about localization? How does that fit in?
Localization is about adapting your marketing materials to resonate with local audiences. It goes beyond just translation.
So it's like making sure your jokes land in every country? Timing and context matter.
Right. But how do brands ensure they're culturally sensitive?
They need to engage local experts and conduct thorough research to avoid missteps.
What role does branding play in global marketing?
Branding needs to be consistent, but it should also be flexible enough to adapt to local markets.
So it's like wearing the same outfit but accessorizing differently for each occasion.
Exactly. What about digital marketing? How does it fit into global strategies?
Digital marketing is vital. It allows brands to reach global audiences quickly and efficiently.
What about social media? How does that vary across different countries?
Social media preferences can differ greatly. For example, while Facebook is popular in many places, platforms like WeChat dominate in China.
So it's like choosing the right party to attend. You want to be where your audience is.
What about the challenges of global marketing? What should brands be aware of?
Challenges include navigating different regulations, cultural differences, and economic conditions.
That sounds complex. How can brands overcome these challenges?
Flexibility and adaptability are key. Brands need to be willing to pivot their strategies as needed.
So it's like dancing. You have to adjust your moves based on the rhythm of the music.
What about partnerships? How important are they in global marketing?
Partnerships can provide valuable local insights and help brands navigate new markets more effectively.
What's the role of technology in global marketing strategies?
Technology enables brands to analyze data and track performance across different markets.
So it's like having a global marketing dashboard. You can see what's working and what's not.
What about ethical considerations? How do they play into global marketing?
Brands need to be aware of ethical standards in different countries and ensure they're not exploiting local markets.
That's a great point. What's the biggest mistake brands make in global marketing?
Assuming that a one-size-fits-all approach will work, it rarely does.
So it's like trying to fit into your high school jeans. It just doesn't work.
What's the future of global marketing strategies? Where do you see it heading?
I think we'll see more emphasis on personalization and data-driven strategies as technology continues to evolve.
Great insights, everyone. Global marketing strategies are definitely complex but essential.
Absolutely. It's all about understanding and connecting with diverse audiences.
And having a little fun while doing it.
Agreed. Let's keep exploring the world of global marketing.
Emerging trends in marketing are fascinating. What do you think is at the forefront right now?
I'd say personalization is huge. Consumers expect brands to tailor their messages to their preferences.
Absolutely. It's all about creating a unique experience for each customer.
So it's like having a personal shopper who knows exactly what you want? Sign me up.
But how do brands gather that data without being creepy?
Great question. Transparency is key. Brands need to be clear about how they collect and use data.
What about sustainability? Is that becoming a trend in marketing?
Definitely. Consumers are increasingly looking for brands that prioritize eco-friendly practices.
So if I buy a reusable water bottle, I'm basically saving the planet and looking cool at the same time.
Exactly. It's about aligning purchases with values.
And brands that communicate their sustainability efforts effectively can build stronger loyalty.
What about the role of technology? How is it shaping marketing trends?
AI and machine learning are game changers. They help brands analyze data and predict consumer behavior.
So we might have marketing robots soon? That sounds both exciting and a little scary.
But can technology sometimes take away the human touch?
That's a valid concern. It's about finding the right balance between tech and personal connection.
What about social media trends? How are they evolving?
Short-form video content is dominating. Platforms like TikTok are changing how brands engage.
So if I can make a funny dance video, I might just go viral and sell my product?
That's the dream. But how do you ensure your content stands out?
Creativity and authenticity are key. Brands need to be relatable and genuine.
What about influencer marketing? Is it still effective?
Yes, but micro-influencers are gaining traction. They often have more engaged audiences.
So it's like having a friend recommend a product instead of a celebrity?
Exactly. It feels more trustworthy.
And brands need to choose influencers who align with their values.
What's the impact of voice search on marketing?
Voice search is changing SEO strategies. Brands need to optimize for conversational queries.
So if I ask my smart speaker for pizza recommendations, I better show up in the results.
That's a great point. It's all about being where the consumer is.
And as voice technology evolves, brands will need to adapt their strategies.
What about the future? Where do you see marketing heading?
I think we'll see even more integration of AR and VR for immersive experiences.
Wow, so I could try on clothes virtually before buying? That sounds amazing.
And it could revolutionize online shopping.
Absolutely. The possibilities are endless as technology continues to advance.
Great insights, everyone. Emerging trends in marketing are definitely exciting.
And they're shaping how brands connect with consumers.
So let's keep our eyes peeled for what's next.
Agreed. It's a thrilling time to be in marketing.
The future of marketing is such an intriguing topic. What do you think will be the biggest changes we'll see?
I believe personalization will be at the forefront. Consumers expect brands to tailor their messages to their preferences.
Absolutely. It's all about creating unique experiences for each customer.
So it's like having a personal assistant who knows exactly what you want? Sign me up.
But how do brands gather that data without coming off as creepy?
Great question. Transparency is key. Brands need to be clear about how they collect and use data.
What about sustainability? Is that becoming a trend in marketing?
Definitely. Consumers are increasingly looking for brands that prioritize eco-friendly practices.
So if I buy a reusable water bottle, I'm saving the planet and looking cool at the same time.
Exactly, it's about aligning purchases with values.
And brands that communicate their sustainability efforts effectively can build stronger loyalty.
What role does technology play in shaping these marketing trends?
AI and machine learning are game changers. They help brands analyze data and predict consumer behavior.
So we might have marketing robots soon? That sounds both exciting and a little scary.
But can technology sometimes take away the human touch?
That's a valid concern. It's about finding the right balance between tech and personal connection.
What about social media trends? How are they evolving?
Short-form video content is dominating. Platforms like TikTok are changing how brands engage.
So if I can make a funny dance video, I might just go viral and sell my product?
That's the dream. But how do you ensure your content stands out?
Creativity and authenticity are key. Brands need to be relatable and genuine.
What about influencer marketing? Is it still effective?
Yes, but micro-influencers are gaining traction. They often have more engaged audiences.
So it's like having a friend recommend a product instead of a celebrity?
Exactly, it feels more trustworthy.
And brands need to choose influencers who align with their values.
What's the impact of voice search on marketing?
Voice search is changing SEO strategies. Brands need to optimize for conversational queries.
So if I ask my smart speaker for pizza recommendations, I better show up in the results.
That's a great point. It's all about being where the consumer is.
And as voice technology evolves, brands will need to adapt their strategies.
What about the future? Where do you see marketing heading?
I think we'll see even more integration of AR and VR for immersive experiences.
Wow, so I could try on clothes virtually before buying? That sounds amazing.
And it could revolutionize online shopping.
Absolutely. The possibilities are endless as technology continues to advance.
Great insights, everyone. The future of marketing is definitely exciting.
And it's shaping how brands connect with consumers.
So let's keep our eyes peeled for what's next.
Agreed, it's a thrilling time to be in marketing.